Egan, and I'm a full-time singer. I've been singing ballads, I suppose, since I could talk. The whole reason for teaching the ballads is, you know, they've been around for so long. They're a reflection on history. All aspects of human life and behaviour are kind of encompassed sometimes in a ballad. Lots of them are being sung, but lots of them are getting lost. I feel there's a need for reinterpretation of some of them because just different audiences, it's a different era, and a lot of stuff people not necessarily want to hear kind of rammed down their throat. A lot of time ballads were kind of like forcefully sung, kind of, you know, sung in the street corner. It was a different time and a different thing, and we're in a different place in a different country, so we need a different approach. So my thing is to find ballads that will lend themselves to a newer approach. The first song I seem to remember was a song called Muirsheen Durkin, but I haven't sang that one in a long time. Goodbye Muirsheen Durkin, and sick and tired of working. The more I dig the praties, no longer I'll be fooled. For assurance, my name is Carney, I'll be off to California, and where I'll be digging lumps of gold.
I'm Laura Byrne Egan, and I am originally from Vermont. I grew up in a small town there and started playing the flute when I was really little, and then went on to compete and play in Vermont Youth Orchestra and took lessons, and I got into Peabody Conservatory, so that brought me to Baltimore. When I first started playing the flute, I started singing a little bit. The singing part of the Irish music community in Baltimore has definitely gotten a lot stronger and bigger since Pat's moved here.
I kind of approach it like I picked it up myself. Basically, finding songs that you like and songs that speak to you or say something that you're kind of interested in, whether it be something about some aspect of your life or some aspect of what's happening. In the Irish scene, there's kind of like two different types of music. There's Irish music, which is the reels and jigs and the hornpipes, and the singers, and sometimes unaccompanied singing, which is called sean-nós singing, which is a very emotive sort of singing, usually in Irish. And then there's the middle ground, which is a kind of accompanied singing, which is kind of where the ballad singing came from. And then there's ballad groups who their whole thing is basically, it's a kind of more of a raucous kind of a sound, more kind of like, everybody's kind of clapping along, getting involved in it. It's a great night out, but for me, a lot of the songs have gotten kind of smudged, that people don't really know what's going on as such. They know the chorus or, that kind of thing, but the words themselves, there's an awful lot of really good songs that have just been totally kind of, in teaching them, I kind of trying to find a song that suits you and suits your voice most of all. Just, trying to get the emotion into it and getting it across, just so that people can hear it, and understand what it's about. That's what I've been doing since I started singing. I mean, I sing both sides of the thing, like I'll sing the rousing rebel song if you like, but I'll also take a rousing rebel song and I'll just kind of like slow down and so that people will hear exactly what it's about. So a lot of the songs are either getting lost, or a lot of the songs are being put into a different context in the sense of, let's get the crowd really worked up to such a pitch that they don't really know what's being sung. It's more of a kind of an atmosphere and a kind of a, get the crowd going. But there's a certain aspect of it where you need to take those good ballads and just bring them down to earth a little bit so people still understand what they were about. It's just, making people aware, like Irish history, people have they know about St. Patrick and, the Shamrocks and the Shillelaghs and they know a little bit about the Troubles and the famine and stuff like that. But there's always little things in between and lots of songs that help to describe the thing probably a little bit better. It's nice to kind of like inform and entertain at the same time. If you can find a nice balance with that, I think you're onto something.
When I first heard Irish music, I mean, it's just something that you can't explain, and I just fell in love with it really hard, and it's probably, it could be the rhythm, the lift, the feeling behind it. It's a very fluid kind of, the tunes themselves, are very fluid kind of moving tunes.
Irish music and musicians, we constantly talk about one another behind our back, but we all know where we are, we all know how to get in touch with one another, and we all know how to help each other out. And that's, when you have a community like that strong, it's a fantastic thing. People in the music scene, it's a tough life in a way, and I'm not complaining about it. We do it because we love it, and we're not going to stop. And I never thought I would live on the East Coast, but the community is great here, and the music is great because, as a musician, you kind of you need the challenge to kind of keep you going. It's an understanding. It's getting back to that whole understanding about it. If you're going to get into it and you're going to get any kind of way serious about it, you just have to kind of understand a little bit more than it's just. Yeah, a lot of people think, oh, this is just fun and this is just it's people just having a party and stuff. But there's there's an awful lot of work that goes into kind of getting this stuff down. It's your own interpretation. That's the whole thing about traditional and folk music. It's all to do with interpretation. It's like a person telling a story. If you pass on a story to somebody else, it's not going to be the same, but when they're telling it, for sure. But that's the beauty of it, and that's what keeps it alive as well. For my heart is filled with woe, since Maggie went.